Welcome back. Let's quickly summarize. When talking about natural selection, it's important that you never say variations in the population exist because organisms need them. That is not the case. Okay? Organisms do not get traits because they need them. They get them because that variation or that trait exists in the environment by chance and is beneficial to the organism. As a result, those organisms with that trait can outcompete and outsurvive those that do not have it. And therefore, they reproduce at a greater rate and pass on that trait to the offspring at a faster rate. But they do not have that variation because they need it. They have it because it, by chance, is a variation that exists in the environment. That being said, Darwin did not know where this variation came from. While Darwin was doing his studies in the Galapagos Islands, Mendel was doing his studies in the on pea plants in Germany. It would have been wonderful if there was like Snapchat or something like that, or text messaging, or even a phone, because then Darwin and Mendel could have spoken to each other, but they didn't even know each other existed, and then maybe some of their studies would have made more sense if Darwin had Mendel's information and Mendel had Darwin's information. But they had to send messages by like boat if you were separated by sea. So Darwin didn't know where this variation came from, but we now know that the ultimate source of variation is mutation. And all the variation that exists in the population is due to random mutations that occur. Remember, it's not due to mutations that are needed, it's due to random mutations that occur that stay in the population because they're beneficial. We also now know, after our test, which I'm about to grade probably on Sunday, tomorrow, in the afternoon, is that organisms that reproduce sexually have greater variation because the process of meiosis in general increases variation, and we learn this is due to one, crossing over, that occurs during prophase 1, that allows more combinations of traits, and then independent assortment during metaphase 1, that allows the paternal and maternal chromosome to align either way, so that way you can get any combination of paternal and maternal genes in a sperm or egg. And then last but not least, random fertilization, but that mixes paternal DNA and maternal DNA. So you get all sorts of different combinations that are allowed through sexual reproduction. But the ultimate source of variation is mutation. And remember, mutations occur randomly, not because they're needed. Okay, so for homework, just to review, you need to answer the guided questions that are attached to this PowerPoint. And then there's an additional PowerPoint that is about the modes of natural selection. There are 3 main modes, and you need to look them up, explain them. You can do it right on the PowerPoint slide, and then give an example of a real example of one of the forms of selection. I believe they are directional, I always forget them, stabilizing, and disruptive. You need to give an example, a real example of each one of those types of selection. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Enjoy your long weekend.